Hey, you're wearing the same clothes as the last video. You're not fooling anybody. I know, I told you, I'm recording on the same day now. I would prefer to record on the day and upload on the day, but it's kind of demanding, and I kind of know what I want to do for the next few weeks is I want to record these memory lane videos because I'm feeling very sentimental around my birthday. I'm going to be 25 on the 6th of February. It's my birthday. On the 6th of February. I'm an Aquarius. I don't know how much more I can say about that. But I'm feeling very sentimental. I'm going to be 25 and you only turn 25 once. So I'm kind of milking it as much as I can. And I'm feeling super just like in my feelings, just reflecting on my life. This is what happens every time around my birthday. I'm just sitting around thinking of how much I haven't accomplished, and it's just really negative. So I like looking back on things and seeing how far I've come, just as a reminder to myself. My hair looks so flat. Wow. I haven't achieved great hair, despite the amount of times that I have absolutely destroyed it. But I want to keep doing these memory lane videos. In the last video, we looked at some of my school stuff. It was mainly some of my school stuff from my end of secondary school, so from year 11 or end of middle school or junior high or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. And also some stuff from college sixth form. And now we're moving into I'm collecting things because I know I'm going to leave one day territory. Some of it's sad, some of it's very sentimental. There's some very cool pictures in here, and I would like to show you them if I can. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the first video because it's going to be this for the most part over the next few weeks, because this is what I want to do. I have at least 2 scrapbooks to go through, mainly this one, the Motherlode that we checked out the last time. This is going to be the main one, and then we have one from 2017 because my butterfly one, this one, has to be bound with a belt in order for its spine to just stay aligned, because she's thick. Like, she's thick as hell. Like, I have filled her, even though she has plenty of like blank pages, like all of these pages here are completely empty. She's too thick and I can't put any more in her, otherwise she's just gonna explode. So we are going to go through my butterfly diary and also this 2017 one, and this is actually one of my favorite scrapbooks because Alicia got it for me and I ended up doodling in them a lot. My first page is about the fact that she got this in 2017 for my birthday. So yeah, it's just something fun to do. But let's go through some more memories, shall we? In the last episode, we talked about how I nearly died in a fire. Did you like that clickbait title? I bet you did. And we talked about how weird I was in school, how I was obsessed with Assassin's Creed, how I taught myself history, like all of those memories. If you want to check that out, check out the last video. But we will now be looking into some more personal family type memories. So the first thing I have to show you is a picture of me with my grandfather and my brother. I'll give you a second. It's not this, like, ignore this. We went over this the last time. But like, I'll give you a second to observe this picture and to guess which one is me. Have you got it? I'll tell you which one is me. It's the little shit right there. Like, this is me. Just me, just with all my like neurotic, just child energy is here, and this is my paternal grandfather who passed away last year. I have a lot of amazing memories with him because he used to tell me all these stories. He used to smoke a lot, so I used to sit on his lap and inhale all that beautiful secondhand smoke while he told me stories of the good old days. And I would play with the smoke because he would blow it in front of my face, and then I would just play with it. It was just terrible thing to do, but what can you do? As I said before, I was obsessed with Assassin's Creed. I actually had all the books at home. I bought them, I think they sold them in like Asda, which is the UK version of Walmart. They sold all the I've forgotten, the Oliver Bowden books. He wasn't a brilliant writer, but I was obsessed with this gaming franchise. So I bought, I think, almost all of the books at the time. I think it was the first, so Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Revelations. I bought all of those ones, and I think I also got The Last Crusade, which was about Altair Ibn Lahad. Ibn Lahad. And I kept the little thing. I don't have the books anymore because they were non-essentials and I couldn't take them from my original home. But I kept the little pamphlet that came with it because it was one of my prized possessions as a teenager who was obsessed with the franchise. I still have like t-shirts with the Abstergo logo on it because I was really into the lore of the story, and like, it's not important. I have Italian. This is me as a baby. I don't know if you can see her clearly, but if you can't, she's got like this, well, I have this like really evil grin on my face, and this is one of my uncles who's behind my hand, who I don't want to reveal just in case he doesn't want to be in the video, which he probably doesn't because I'm an exile. Oh, I was also into Christian Bale at the time. I've forgotten why I was into Christian Bale. I think it was because of Terminator 4, Terminator Salvation. I've been into Terminator since I was a kid. I wasn't a huge fan of Salvation. I'm trying to show you the poster. I've been into Terminator for a while. It's one of my favorite franchises. I also think that it's a plausible way that the world will end is through a robotic takeover. But I think I was like into Christian Bale at the time because he was in the 4th Terminator movie, which I had just watched, and this cutout was in a newspaper, and I wanted to keep it. And there's also a WikiLeaks logo here because I guess I was like into like Julian Assange. I thought I watched the Collateral Damage video and I was absolutely incensed by it. I couldn't believe that things like that happened around the world. So I was like into WikiLeaks for a little while. I quickly lost interest because politics just confuses me. So it just became something that I didn't want to be involved in anymore. But you know, rebellious spirit showing through. Just a little bit of rebellious spirit. This is my maternal grandfather, and this is not me, this is one of my baby cousins in Bangladesh, but this is my maternal grandfather, and I kept a picture of him because he passed away in 2010 or 2009, I can't remember, but yeah, it's just a picture I kept of him. Okay, so before, I don't even know if I want to show you, I'm not going to show you the bottom picture because there's people in there who are alive, and I don't think that they would want to be in this video, so I'm not going to show you the bottom picture or anyone who's in it. So this blue set of, I guess you'd call them cue cards, is from a speech I gave at school about the hijab. A positive speech about hijab, not a negative, like not a no hijab day speech, a positive why you should wear hijab speech. I'm not going to read it to you now, but I did dig up the original notes, the typed up notes, and I fully intend to give that speech here live on YouTube. Well, maybe not live, but on YouTube, so that you can fully understand just how insane I was. I showed the full, actually, is this the one about hijab? This is about motherhood and why mothers should be respected. I don't think I'll read this now. I may read this at another time, but I did find the one about hijab. I did find the notes about hijab, and I do, so in the spirit of No Hijab Day, I want to tear apart my own speech that I gave at school. And it was, I gave that speech and I also gave this speech. I completely forgot about this speech. And I thought it was the other one. But this one was about, because in Islam it's a big thing to respect your mother, or I thought it was. And I remember writing out these flashcards, or these cue cards, and it was just like amazing. I've been really driven by just speaking what I believe in for a really long time, and I'm really, really glad that I have critical thinking on my side, and that I've changed. I'm really happy that I've changed. And I'm not peddling the same garbage that I was talking about, like, I want to say, well, 10 years ago now. It's just insane to me. Like, I read that, the one about hijab, I read it to myself a few days ago, and I was like, wow, I'm so delusional. And I showed it to Zara. Zara read it and she was like, oh my god, you were crazy. And I was like, I told you, like, this is who I was. And now I'm like a completely different person. Like, if I was to present myself in front of myself, like myself 10 years ago, in front of myself, I would not doubt that we would get in a physical fight. Like, we are such different people. I'm not going to give this speech right now because I don't think that's a good idea, because I want to continue going down memory lane for a little bit longer. But I think I'm going to dig this up at another point, and if you guys want to see it, like want to see what I said in the speech, I would love to read it because why not? I'm pretty sure there's a Shakespeare quote in here for some fucking reason. But I would love to give this speech. I mean, this one, at least I can... This one is about respecting your mother, which I feel like I can stand behind a bit more. But the other one is just absolutely horrendous. And in the spirit of No Hijab Day, I will be speaking that speech. Just so I can make fun of myself. And, you know, show the people who think that there is no way out that there is a way out. Like, I was pretty deep in and I got out. I'm out. I'm good. But moving on. I fully expected this speech to be the other one. I'm so surprised. There's 2 speeches that I can work with. Anyways, I have some stick-ins from the Dar es Salaam Youth Project, which was a Dawah project I'm guessing in Hendon. I can't remember where exactly I got this from, but I'm pretty sure they visited our school and they left us some pamphlets. And I remember the heading of this pamphlet, and I will never forget it. It was how can you tell me that the sky is the limit? And this was the campaign name, the sky isn't the limit. And the header was, how can you tell me the sky is the limit when there are footprints on the moon? Like a Jaden Smith tweet. It was something ridiculous like that. It was so funny. I wonder if these like contact numbers still work, and these like email addresses, I wonder if they're still a thing. I mean, you can try if you want to troll them, because they were really cringe. So let me give you a bit of a backstory about these like photographs. So a lot of these photographs were thrown away or burned because we got to a point in our Islam, in our religion, that we just thought everything was haram, and we thought that keeping photographs was also haram. And being a sentimental person, I didn't want to throw away all the pictures, so I kept a few. Like, even before sticking them into this diary, I kept quite a few of these photos because I just wanted to hold on to them, despite the fact that I thought they were haram. But I thought, I'll make up for it with good deeds or whatever. So I kept a lot of these photos, and the reason why I kept this one was that this photo was taken, I think, in 2007 or 2006, like when we first moved into this house. This was my home. This was my, like, I don't want to say it was my childhood home because I grew up in my grandma's house, but this was like my teenage home, like where most of my angsty thoughts came out of. This was my home, and this was the view to like our backyard, our garden. This was our kitchen before my mum did some stuff and redid it and things like that. And like, I remember this, and every time I look at this picture, like I get this really almost sad, nostalgic feeling, because I was so blissfully ignorant back then, and I would wager even happy back then, because there was just, I was a little kid and I didn't know anything, and my biggest worry was just like, doing my homework. And the caption I wrote for this is what our kitchen looked like before we got it refurbished. Oh, good God, I hate change. I wish it had stayed the same. And I wrote this caption quite a while ago. I think I wrote this caption in must have been 2015 or 2016, when I was in a really, really bad place. And, you know, just looking at this picture, it just makes me think about how many things have changed. Like, I haven't been in that house since 2015, and it's just a place of absolute fucking terror for me now because of what happened there. But when I look at this picture, I don't see any of that. I just see, like, this is our new house, and this is my kitchen, and like my mum used to cook in here, you know. Like, I only have good feelings, like bittersweet but mostly good feelings about this picture. And it like, even though there's no like people in it, there's no you know, there's really ultimately no life in it except for like the plants and the greenery, it's still such a happy picture for me. Oh, this is fun. Ignore the pictures in the background for a second. This is a play that myself and a few friends had to perform for an English assignment. And oh my god, I remember, it was some of the worst acts. This is exactly why I cannot act, because this, like, acting out this play traumatized me so much. Like, everyone else did something so simple. They did like Little Red Riding Hood, or a reinterpretation of Beauty and the Beast, or like Cinderella, or whatever the hell. We did the Trojan War. There were 5 of us. Yeah, 5 of us. Later someone else dropped out, so there were 4 of us acting out like 7 different parts. Some of them were like Greek gods. It was ridiculous. My part, I was Athena. I was Athena in this play. And some people had like 2 roles, but I was only given Athena, which is like a leading role. She like tells Odysseus how to do shit, and oh my god, it just completely traumatized me from like acting. But I remember I got such a good grade because my teacher was just, I was a teacher's pet. I always got good grades. They were always lenient with me. But I remember I worked with the other girl. She had 2 parts in this play. The other girl who I spent a lot of time with, we were friends at the time, but we're not friends, like, we're not close anymore, which is a shame because I really miss her. And I remember we would just be arguing back and forth because we had this one classmate who just would not participate. Like, they hadn't practiced any of their lines. They would read from the paper. Like, they didn't know any of their lines, and we had tried so hard to get this right, because we weren't doing something simple. And this other person was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not gonna learn any of the lines. I'm just gonna act like, you know, I'm just gonna ruin the play for everybody. Such a bad time. I don't even know why I stuck this in, but it was a piece of work that I guess I kept it as a cautionary tale because I didn't want to get rid of it, because I remember going through all of my schoolwork towards like the end of me being in my father's house, and I remember going through this stuff and thinking, like, what do I want to keep as a memento and what don't I want to keep? And I don't, like, for most of the stuff I usually remember why I kept it, but I don't remember why I kept this, because it was such a bad time for me. It was like one of the things I was least proud of in terms of my schooling, so I think I just kept it as a reminder of, you're terrible at this, never do this again. I don't know, but it was interesting because we did something completely different to everyone else. Like, we did a Greek play as opposed to everyone else who did something like a fairy tale or like a reinterpretation of a fairy tale. It was so, like, we were first as well. Like, we thought everyone else had gone for this high fight because it was for literature. So we thought everyone else was going to go for something really complicated, and then it turned out like we had the most complicated play. I don't know. I'm not trying to blow my own horn here. I'm just telling you what happened. So the next few photographs are of my parents, and this was a very long time ago. I think this picture is from 2010 or 2019, and this is from like even like way earlier, like 2003 or 2004. This was like the last time I was at a beach. So the last time I was at a beach was last year, with my friend. But the last time I was at a beach with my family was in like 2003 or earlier. And they took this photo. This was before my parents were religious, this picture. My mum always wore a headscarf, but as you can see, it's like way more traditional. Whereas my mum here, in Bangladesh, this was in Bangladesh, and this was the last time we went. Actually, it may have been the time before that. I can't exactly remember, but the time before that was about in, I believe it was like between 2006 and 2005, maybe 2005, 2006. It was just before I went to secondary school. So this was by a waterfall. So both of these pictures are actually just before we turned super religious, but my mother was always quite traditional. So yeah, this was in a waterfall. I remember we did horse riding. I wish I had pictures of that. I remember that being in the album, but I didn't keep those pictures because I didn't think I'd want them. Just a lesson: if you have hard copy pictures and you don't have digital copies, keep them. Don't burn them because they're haram, because you'll regret it one day. So this is a bit of a weird one. This is an essay that I kept, and the exact reason I kept them was because I had to compare two different ad campaigns. So the ad campaigns that I decided to compare was an NSPCC and Save the Children appeal to an Assassin's Creed advert. I don't know what was going through my brain and why I thought that was going to be easy to compare, but I got a B. Like, what the fuck? I'm not going to read this essay because that just sounds like a nightmare. But it was, I remember doing this and thinking, I didn't get to choose the first ad. The first ad was chosen for us, and we had to compare it to any other ad campaign. So I saw this ad campaign, and for some reason, instead of like comparing it to another appeal, like another charity campaign, I was like, I really like Assassin's Creed. I really, really like Assassin's Creed. So you know what I'm going to do is that I'm going to compare a children's appeal to a violent video game. I'm going to read like the final note. It's quite a long note, so strap in. So I got a B. She says, this is a coherent essay. You use each paragraph to present a particular focus, and you compare and contrast the use of identified media techniques well, though providing more in-depth detail through specific examples will improve your essay. Make sure that you are constantly specifying audience and purpose, that you are reading between the lines, as well as making surface interpretations. Your introduction and conclusion need to be more focused. That's still a problem I have. But you are good to point out where and why your preference is as an audience lies. So throughout this essay, she was like noting like, this is really difficult to compare. So if anyone ever doubted my English skills, think again. Like, I'm able to compare literal apples to oranges. And I remember, because she was like, this is one of the best essays in the class. I'm trying really hard not to toot my own horn, but she was like, this is one of the best essays in the class. This was the year 11 essay. And she goes, Faye, like, present this essay to your class. And I'm like, I really don't want to, because I'm embarrassed, because I compared a video game ad to a charity campaign. And she was like, no, this is exactly why we need you to present this, because it was literally comparing this to something completely else. And I borderline think she did that just to shame me, because she was like, what were you thinking? But I don't know. I remember doing that and being so proud of it. And like the caption that I put for this is, God, I love Assassin's Creed. Because at the time I did, and I still kind of do. It's still, I don't have a poster for Assassin's Creed. I need to get a poster for Assassin's Creed, because it just was one of my jams back in the day. But yeah, I have some pictures of my baby sister Hafsa, and just a Christmas card. Okay, so at this time, my mother had passed away, so I was like the mom in the house, and she had made me a Christmas card, but she had brought home someone else's card. This is not her card. She had definitely made a card because I saw it when I was picking her up, and she had accidentally picked up someone else's card and taken it home, and I felt so bad, but I knew, like, I noticed this towards the end of me being in that house, and I didn't have the heart to like throw it away because it wasn't her card, so I decided to stick it in instead. And it's still one of the most adorable things that I have. This is my name in Bangla, in my cousin's handwriting, and this was Hafsa's little tray, like the label on her tray. It's so cute. She has like a little pirate on it. I was also into, like, I was into researching pirates back then as well, so it was really sweet. And this was another card. I can't remember what happened to the front. I'm pretty sure not Hafsa, but my other sister Fatima had ripped off the cover because she wanted to keep it, but I kept the note. And the caption is, "For every time I feel like killing something," because I was a very angsty young person. She wrote, "To dear sister, thank you for looking after me. Love, Hafsa." And I'm pretty sure this was for Valentine's Day, which was like, I miss them so much, and I really don't want to cry in this video because I cry in almost every video, but it's just so long ago. Ooh. There's a juicy one coming up. You know what? I'm gonna keep this for next video because we're at the 27-minute mark. I'm gonna keep this for the next video. There's quite a few things that I'm going to keep for next video. Ooh, I got some history stuff. Yeah, as you can see, a lot of this is not chronological, which is, you know, it's fine. But thank you for sitting through another one of these videos, and I hope that you enjoyed it and you enjoy going through my mementos as much as I do. I just love looking through my life and crying. But that's today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please do leave a like. Like I said, throughout, you know, the rest of January leading up to my birthday, I think I'm just going to stick to this like memento path. I just want to look through my mementos for inspiration, for reflection, for, you know, just for myself. And I thought I'd share them with you because I feel like I have a lot of stories that I can share through them. So yeah. And, you know, it's fun for me to look through and remember things from my past. And I mean, I'm not going to read like super personal things because I don't think it's appropriate, but I do want to, you know, share the things that I want to share. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and consider sharing and subscribing. If you have a comment to leave for me, please do feel free to do so. If you would like to support me in a more monetary way, I have a Patreon, I have a PayPal, we have some beautiful merch with work from, you know, my own gallery, like things that I have drawn on them. If you would like to check them out, everything is linked in the description below. And, you know, if you absolutely detested this video and think it was absolute flaming garbage, please do leave a comment down below. This is what I consider to be a free speech platform. Please do say whatever you feel like saying in the comments below. As you feel like saying, say what you mean and mean what you say. And, you know, don't forget to smash that dislike button on the way out. But yeah, I will be looking forward to making more of these videos, and for those of you who need a reminder, this Sunday we will be doing a live stream, and I want to be brainstorming some new ideas for videos, because as I mentioned in the first of this like soon-to-be series, I came upon a lot of stuff in like the last week, like old lessons and things like that, and I just want to brainstorm some new ideas for videos on this channel, because I don't want it to be all gloom and doom, and I feel like all of last year was a lot of gloom and doom and a lot of drama, and I'm trying to move away from that. We will be talking about some serious stuff every now and then, but for the most part I want to keep to, you know, light content that can positively affect your day rather than negatively just drag it down into the dirt. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and I will see you Sunday. And, you know, for those of you who don't want to tune into the live stream, I'll see you Wednesday. So yeah, goodbye.